and welcome to the Dare to Dream Team Call. My name is Jessica Belzer Nelson, and I want to welcome you to our hangout spot every single Monday night. I am super pumped about the call tonight, like beyond. I know you guys are stoked too. Some people are hopping on right now. But I want to give a shout out to some of you that have rocked the week. So I'm going to start with our 500 superstars. This is how you make the cover photo in Dare to Dream because it means you're helping a lot of people. These numbers come from your personal volume, and personal volume comes from customer sales primarily. So it means you're helping a lot of people get started on their journey. So way to go. 500 superstars: Mary Beth Toulis, Jessica Wolf, Amy Gilbert, Jesidah Santiago, Candace Brockner, Nina Smolinski, Emily Bryant, Brandy Boyd, Jackie North, Juanita Gonzalez, Michael Ullman, and Chris Schreiber. 600 superstar Lauren Rivera. 700 superstars, we have Kylie Littman, John Mattis, Michelle Fayer, Lexi Whitney, Molly Eckley, and Cassie Turner. And with over 800 volume, we have Jennifer Godfrey and our top producer of the week, Leah Krabenhoft. Way to go, coaches. Next up, an exciting category, especially for our call tonight. We have our top sponsors: Ashley Kenny, Chelsea Mills, Krista Anderson, Rebecca Smith, Ruth Schroner. All of these coaches added 4 or more in a single week to the team, 4 or more coaches. But we also have our guest call on this list for like the 700th week in a row, Denita Ozen, which is Denita Smothers. Way to go, coaches. Super awesome stuff. I want to also acknowledge our new Emerald coaches. If you are not enrolled yet, you want to make that your very first mission as a coach, because that's when you start to not only earn off this amazing team, but you also get assigned free customers when you earn Success Club. So new Emerald coaches: Ashley Porter, David Constantino, Jackie Smith, and Yolanda Jimenez. Great job. And we have a new double Emerald in the house, Thomas Brendel. Now you guys better get ready to celebrate, because Thomas is not only a new double Emerald coach, but he also just lost and hits 100 pounds down. Time to do the wave, you guys. What? 100 pounds lost in 5.5 months. I'm so shiny. 5.5 months, you guys. I would say what we do works. Just saying. Amazing stuff. So I've loved watching Thomas's journey. Like, I literally get so fired up over here all by myself. It's embarrassing. 100 pounds down, 5.5 months, you guys. 100 pounds, in case you didn't hear me. I think the neighbors heard me. So way to go. I mean, just way to go. We also have our Anvil Award winner for the month of July was Lily Anderson, who rocked the house, adding 8 or more coaches to the team and updating the file superstar document for July. And other than that, as far as announcements go, we have our live 1-hour open house event this Thursday. So I hope you guys are taking advantage of that and inviting a whole lot of people to join us. Nicole Schreiber will be leading the helm, and I love her energy and her heart, so I know it's going to be amazing. I see you, Nicole. And then at the end of the month, I'm actually going to most likely move the last one this month to Wednesday instead of Tuesday, just for this month only. So stay tuned for that at the end of the month. But we have one this Thursday. So don't you dare wait to invite people, because they need the goodness of our team now. We are 1 week into the Team Cup. I hope that you are participating with your teams and sharing tips and encouraging each other to help a whole lot of people, because we still have a whole lot of August left and a whole lot of people out there that need us. And that is why I'm so pumped about this call to hear from Denita. If you do not know Denita, if you have not heard Denita, you are in for a treat, because literally she is life to me. And I was so happy when she finally agreed to do this call after I beat her down with Doug's 2x4. But you guys, she is, I just want to make sure you know how on fire she is. And what I really love about her success is it literally was like a light switched on. She has been a coach for a while, and then out of nowhere, it was like, literally I have other people in Beachbody contacting me like, who is Denita? And what is she doing? And I'm like, Denita's Denita. So you guys are in for a treat and I cannot wait. So without further ado, she's adding literally like 8 coaches to the team a week, 8+ coaches to the team a week for like 2-3 months running every single week. You guys, this is extraordinary. And I'm just super pumped to hear her heart, because that's what you're going to take away from this, is that she's got a whole lot of heart. So without further ado, Denita, the floor is yours.
I don't deserve any of that, but thank you so much. I see my coaches over there like dream chasers go. So I'm really excited about this call. Jessica, but yeah, she basically had to like hunt me down to get on this call. Not that I didn't want to talk on this call, but you know, 8 to 15 coaches a week can be a lot sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes it could be a lot. So I was like, okay. I'm pleading it. Like, we're going to do this. But when I first was going to come on this call, I didn't know whether I wanted to talk about overcoming fear or I wanted to talk about getting out of your own way. And I decided to talk about getting out of your own way because they're one and the same. Just a little backstory. So this whole mindset switch happened for me when I was at the Success Club trip in Punta Cana. So y'all know all that rah, go to Super Saturday, be at the Success Club, be at Summit because it's going to change your business. BS? Yeah, it changed my business. It changed my life. I was at that trip and I was surrounded by amazing people, amazing energy, just so much, the vibes, like you felt the energy there, you felt the love, you felt the support, and I got to see firsthand how much Beachbody takes care of us and how important that we are and how we are the glue that holds this entire organization together. We are the gap between a fitness program and results. We are that. And it just, the light switched on and I was able to talk to amazing people and meet amazing people. I finally met Jessica in person, that showed me that I am a lot like these top coaches. The only difference between me and these top coaches is how much time they put in and how hard they're willing to work. And I was like, all right, I got you. I'm going home and I'm getting to work. The next month in May, I think I hit SC44. Then June, SC106. And I think July was like SC108 or something like that. So I made a mental connection with my why and what I did every day. And I want to talk to you guys about that. I want to kind of bring you on the journey of how I got out of my own way. I have some notes here, not notes. I just have them numbered 1 through 5 so I don't miss a point. But I'm just speaking straight from the heart because that is what we do. That's how we lead. That's how we build a business, from the heart. The only reason 40 or 50 coaches joined me in the month of July is because when I spoke to them, I spoke from the heart. They're not a challenge pack. They're not a commission. They're a life that's changing because they decided to say yes to this opportunity. And I had to realize that my life changed because of this opportunity. If y'all don't know my backstory, my husband and I got married. The same month we got married, we had bought a new home, went on a 12-day, 10-night honeymoon. He was an engineer. I was a nurse. I was working part-time, so I was about to start my whole new life as a married woman, working part-time, have a couple babies, just kind of kick my feet up. Like, that was the plan. Like, that was my life. I saw it. Well, we get back from that amazing honeymoon, and our new home we had just purchased got robbed. They took everything, and 3 days later, my husband gets laid off. He was 75% of our income. So for the first time in my life, I went from not having a care in the world to not knowing how I was going to cover my bills. So when I started this business, and I was an adult. Now, you married. You can't call your daddy. Like, you're an adult. You're married. Figure it out. So I had to, when I got introduced to this business, I was at a very low point. As you can imagine, we were very stressed. We were newly married, fussing all the time about money. Within our first month as a married couple, I got introduced to Beachbody 2 months into all of this chaos. And when I got introduced to this, I did not look at this as a side hustle, a side thing. This was my life, and I was going to attack it like my life depended on it, because in every way that you looked at it, my life did depend on it. My husband was having a hard time finding a job, and we decided that he was going to follow his dreams. And a lot of times following your dreams mean you have to hustle hard, but you don't always get money because you're hustling. So this was a way for me to build a life that I not only wanted, like we all want to work for ourselves and we all want to love everything, but a life that I needed, just stability. This provided just stability and comfort for me. And it ended up being a life that I love and a life that I'm so very grateful for. But moving forward, when I first started, I went diamond pretty quickly. I want to say like in 45 days or something like that. My first month, I hit SC30, but something happened to me along the way. Midway into my business, I want to say probably like 6 months ago, I decided that I was going to put all my time and my energy into my coaches and my team and help them build their business. And that's the worst thing that you can ever do, is try to help your team build their business. The only thing that you can do is lead by example, because if I don't see you doing, I don't know what to do. So if you're hitting Success Club, you're leading by example, you're building your business, you're bringing in new people, you're showing me what I need to be doing every day. And I stopped doing those vital behaviors, and I tried to build my coaches team for them. And when that didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen, I broke down emotionally and mentally. It was just the hardest thing ever, because I just put all of my heart and my soul into my team, and my team wasn't ready for the success that I wanted from them. And that was hard. So when I went to Success Club, I actually went to Success Club a little broken, a little down, because my coaches that said they really wanted this, that said they wanted to be six-figure earners and said they wanted to retire from their job, weren't doing anything. And because I was so invested in them, I let their results become mine. I adopted what was going on with my team. They were down by my standards, because that wasn't the goal they had for themselves, working aggressively as I came in. I set that goal for them. And that's where the first value came in place. Let people work at their pace and work your business at yours. But so I went into the Success Club trip kind of down, kind of like, oh, I'm a failure. Well, this is fun. I never thought about quitting. Never once thought about quitting. But I felt like I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I thought I was a failure because my coaches weren't seeing the success that I wanted for them. You hear a lot of that? You hear a lot of what I'm saying, huh? I, me. It was all about me. So I went into the Success Club trip with that mindset, and then I got rejuvenated, relifted, and my soul was filled by the energy, the people there, the little bit of learning that we did there. Success Club trip is a whole lot of fun, some learning. But the learning that we did do, listening to some of the top coaches speak, and just being around other leaders in this organization, and being the social butterfly that I am, I was going around talking to everybody, and I realized a common theme. These people just work hard. Like, there is no difference between a Jessica Bowser Nelson and anyone on this call outside of she hustles and she smashes it. And she's done that from the moment she came in, or from when the light switch came on. She's worked her butt off. And I decided that's one trait that anybody could have, the decision to work hard. So I said when I left that I was going to kill it. And this is the process that I went through. Now that I've brought you all the way full circle, let's get down to business, shall we? The first thing that I did when I first got back was I had to change my mind. I had to change my mindset. I knew, so this is going to be a little bit of the Beachbody Champions, but I get to really dive in with y'all because they only gave me 7 minutes. Like, we're going to talk about 7 minutes? I was like, do you know me? Have you met me ever? But I get to really dive in this with y'all. So the first thing I had to do was I had to change my mindset. I had to change my mind. I realized that what I wanted for myself wasn't aligning with my beliefs. So I am going to be a top coach. I want to be a six-figure earner monthly. I want to help 1 million people in my lifetime. Don't quite know how I'm going to do that, but that's on the list. I want to change people's lives through fitness and help them find financial freedom. That's what I want for me. That's what I've always wanted for me. My belief systems wasn't in line with my vision. I wanted these things. I wanted to be a Melanie Mitro, a Jessica Bowser Nelson, an Angie Bellamere. I wanted that. But what I was doing every day didn't align with what I wanted. So I had to change my mindset and change the belief that I had in me. I didn't truly believe that I could be those people. I could reach that level of success. And what happens when you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to work hard for something you don't think is going to happen. So if we don't change our mindset, everything around us starts to mimic that. There's a quote that I like to say it's a really tough pill for people to swallow, but you are exactly where you are in life because of who you are. So if you change in the power behind that, like, that's hard to swallow, because a lot of us come into this business because we want a better life, or we're unhappy with ourselves or our financial situation. It's really hard to look around us and realize that everything we have is because of who we are. The beautiful thing about who we are is we're in complete control of who we can be and who we change our lives and who we become to then change our lives. So I decided that I was going to start changing my mind, and I started to dive really deep into personal development. A lot of us, or I can't speak for everyone, but I know for myself, personal development is one of those things you think is real cute, that Jessica or your upline keeps telling you to do, like it's real cute. Your life depends on that personal development. Your business depends on that personal development. Success is not in the things you get. It's not like a big shiny car. It's that puts the keys in that lock every day. Or if you have $1 million home, maybe it's like a fingerprint and you just get in. But you know what I'm saying? Success is the person that walks into that house, opens the door, looks around and says, this is mine. That person can lose everything and in a year gain it back because they have a success mindset. They look beyond what's in front of them. They look at where they're going and they do not stop until they get there. You have to develop yourself into a person who sees success, who knows what it is, and who's willing to grind to get it. So a lot of that comes back to the belief that we have in ourselves. If you knew in 5 years that you could be a top 10 coach earning $40,000 a month, would you work hard every day? Of course you would. So why doesn't everybody show up? Why doesn't everybody do their vitals? Why doesn't everybody invite like they should? Why doesn't everybody do monthly challenge groups like they know they should do? Because you truly do not believe it. Because if you did, you would not avoid the work that it takes to get there. So I had to come back, and instead of doing 10 to 20 minutes of personal development just so I can check it off my little power hour sheet because it looked cute, I started to really dive into personal development. I started to really question myself. Who do you want to be? What do you have to do to get there? What beliefs is stopping you from achieving the success that you know that you can have? We are all powerful beings put on this planet for a certain reason. We decide how big or how small we're going to shrink ourselves. And I decided I wanted to play big. And to play big, I had to knock down those limits and beliefs. Knock down the belief that no one's going to tell me yes. Knock down the belief that people are going to think I'm scamming. Knock down the belief that this isn't life-changing. Knock down the belief that this isn't affordable or people won't pay that. I had to get rid of all those beliefs. And when I did, when I talk to people, like if there's any of my coaches on this call, when I talk to people, if I do a sneak peek, I talk to them just like this. This is an amazing opportunity. This is life-changing. $160 is nothing compared to the life that I have provided for myself with this opportunity. I've said in my sneak peeks a million times, I wish this was like $5,000 so people can stop treating it like a $160 program, because it's not. It's $1 million business. It's an opportunity to build a life and generational wealth for your children, and you treat it like it's a $160 pair of shoes. I hate that it's that much. And I talk to people like that, but I wasn't thinking like that before I started developing my mind and before I started really looking at where I was trying to go and where I was, and realizing that the only reason I wasn't getting yeses is because I wasn't telling myself yes. I didn't believe in me enough to invite on a massive level, because what if all those people told me no? I was the reason I wasn't successful, not my upline, not my team. It was me. Not that I wasn't successful, because I had had success up to that point, but not to the point, not to the capacity I knew I was capable of. I was cheating myself out of SC 100 for an entire year. Not that I put a lot of value on that number. I put a value on how many people just said yes to changing their lives if they take this opportunity and really kill it. That to me is the reason why this is so amazing. So a lot of what we don't do is because we don't believe. And as I said before, if somebody told you, if you stuck this out for a year or for 2 years, 3 years, because stop wanting success the second, third, fourth month. Oprah didn't get on Oprah status in a year. She was 35 before she got her first major television deal after being told she wasn't a fit for TV. Bill Gates didn't wake up Bill Gates. He was a studier of success, and he loved to study, and he loved to fail for it. So that's a lesson within a lesson. Success takes time. Success takes time, and success is hard. If success was easy, all of us would be top coaches. So stop expecting it to be easy and just do the hard stuff now. And then one day it'll be pretty easy. But at first, you got to do the hard stuff. So I had to look at myself and realize that I was the reason I wasn't where I needed to be. I stopped looking for people to be my answer, and I paved my own with the resources that I had. Another huge mistake that whenever my business took a nosedive, I did what everyone told me not to do because they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, just because she's successful, who's going to listen to her? I started to recreate the wheel. I started to try to do these new and improved trainings for my team. I started to do one-on-one calls with everybody, just giving everybody all my time that I needed to be spending on my own business. And I started trying to find a new way for my coaches to have and faster. They're going to stay. So I recreated the wheel. So that's not even on the notes, but I want y'all to know that everything that you need to be successful is in your vital behaviors. Work out, drink your shake, invite people to this opportunity, post about your journey, be true to you, develop yourself, develop your mind, follow up, and form relationships. That's the business. That's all we need to do. That's all I've ever done to hit successful 100. By the way, that's what I did. I just did that on massive levels. So everything you need, you already have. It has nothing to do with anyone else but you. What you need, you have. So that's a little off topic. But that's the first thing that I had to do when I got back. I had to develop my mind, and I had to become the type of person that was worthy of the success I wanted for myself. Mentally, physically, we're already everything we need to be. But mentally, we have so many roadblocks up, and we have so many excuses as to why this isn't going to work for us, that we are the reason we aren't successful. And it has nothing to do with this business. A lot of people will say, well, it's not working for me. You're not working the business. The business works for everyone who works the business. The proof is in the pudding with anyone who's been here over 2 to 3 years. They just showed up consistently. And even if results don't come immediately with consistency, they come indefinitely. But you have to keep it going. So that's number one. That's what I did. I came home and I dove so deep into personal development. I reread The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which is way off of kind of like leadership, and it's more of a mind, but it's a very deep spiritual book. But I reread that book, and then after that I read the 21 or 22 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Is it 21? The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership 4 times. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. I read that book 4 times because I had to get out of management mode and become a leader and figure out what is the leader, what truly does it mean to be a leader. And I discovered a leader isn't someone who holds people by the hands. A leader is someone who gets people to adopt the passion that they have and lead by showing them what's possible. And your vision is so big that anyone who crosses paths with you will adopt that vision because, Lord, whatever you got, I want a piece of that. So I read that book 4 times, probably in 6 weeks. I would finish it and restart it. I finished it, I restarted it. I finished it, I restarted it. I was spending in 2 hours a day on personal development. It was that important to me. Well, it says I'm back on here. So I guess I'm back. Can y'all hear me? Yay! I'm back. That was quick. Usually when my
saying anything about you good now?
Yeah, I went off. Usually when my internet goes out, it's like out for good. See, the Lord be looking out. So no, was I cutting out before that, y'all? She does that every time. Right. My internet's been okay.
You're
so
good.
I just right. I wasn't going in and out.
No, we dropped you for like 1 second, maybe twice, but it was literally like a second. So we lost you as soon as you said you read it 4 times. And maybe now you know the title. I don't know. Just kidding.
Oh, okay. So all that time. So 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. That is the one that I read. I read that 4 times because I had to realize what it meant to be a leader, and I wasn't leading by example. I was a micromanager. I was trying to be a boss. I wasn't a leader. I wasn't leading my team. I wasn't doing what I needed to do to show them the way. So I read that book 4 times back to back over the course of 6 weeks, because that book made me realize that being a leader meant leading by example and helping people who were ready to come with me on this journey, helping to develop them, but not dragging everyone along with me. So that is a book that I read 4 times. And the next thing that this is where my internet cut off, but the next thing that I did after that was I took massive action. And without realizing it, when I got back, I took massive action on personal development, because personal development for me, don't touch anything. My husband playing with the router. I'm like, I'm behind the head if you touch anything. So without even realizing it, I was taking massive action on personal development. I was spending 2 hours a day on personal development. I was trying to develop myself into the person that I knew I wanted to be and get beyond the person that I currently was. And it is okay to accept yourself for who you are, where you are, because for me, I needed to become something more if I wanted to be something more. And a lot of us are trying to remain the same and evoke change. Another great quote that I love is, everything that you've gotten in your life up to this point is because of everything you've done in the past. At any point in time, you can change your life by changing the actions that you do every single day. And it's really that simple. So don't accept life for the way it is. Don't accept you for the way it is. If you don't love everything about you, you have the ability to change yourself into whoever you want to be. So then I decided, once I had the mindset, once I had it in my head that I was going to be great and that I was going to attack this business with the fierceness and be ferocious about my goals, because success doesn't come to those who sit idly by and wait for it. Success comes to those who gets out there and hustle their butts and kill it every single day. So I made a decision to come and show up and work harder than I have ever worked on myself ever in my life, and to do it consistently. Not to do it just because I'm off at Success Club and I got this big trip, this momentum trip that I'm on, which a lot of us sometimes do. I decided when I got back that I was going to kill it from this day forward. And that has been, 3-4 months straight. I have never let off the gas. And I don't plan on letting off the gas, because I have big goals and I won't stop until I get there. And when I do get there, I'm just going to set some ridiculously bigger goals so I can keep going. We are at our best when we're growing, not when we're remaining the same. That's when we start to feel unfulfilled. So always grow, always challenge yourself. So I decided to take massive action. And what did I take massive action with? The vital behaviors. We are constantly, and some of you guys have messaged me, or I have had people message me from the Beachbody Champions once I did that video. Everybody wants to know, what am I doing? Like, what are you doing? Tell me your secrets. And here's the secret to success. Like, you gotta get a pen, you gotta get a paper. Work harder on yourself than you work on your job. Work hard consistently and be persistent about it. That's it. When I decided to take massive action, I did that in every part of my business. I started with personal development, and then I moved on to the vital behaviors. I went back to the basics to be successful. I stopped looking for new training and new webinars and new ways to attack IG and new ways to get friends on Facebook. I stopped looking for the new and improved way to be successful, and I wrote down the vitals, and I decided to take massive action with them. That means inviting massive people, following up with massive people. That means expanding my network on a massive level. And that meant doing sneak peeks in a way that I had never did before. I started doing live sneak peeks where I got in front of people and I talked to them. I stopped sending just like a webinar. I started doing things on a massive level. So honestly, everyone wants to know the secret to hitting Success Club 100 2 months in a row. And I think I'm like at a Success Club 26 or 28 right now. I just do the vitals times 100 every single day. That means I'm working 100 times harder than people who are hitting Success Club 10. So don't look for the secret. Look at what you're doing and do it more, do it harder, do it longer. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't have time, or I don't have the resources, or I don't have any friends. You have everything you need to be successful. You have to release the excuses of why you can't and figure out a way to get it done. It's your life. It's your business. It's your financial freedom at stake here. Financial freedom is not just about money. It's about being home with your children, retiring your husband, going on those trips that you wish that you could take your family, not having to tell your kid that you can't afford something. Like, that's what's on the line here. And you have time for that, because if you don't have time for it, who else is going to work your business in your life? Who else is going to give you the life of your dreams? Who can do that for you? Nobody. So if you don't have time, it will never happen. So I let go of all the reasons why I couldn't, decided that I was going to, and I kept fighting until I figured out how. That when I was in May and I hit SC44, that was a trial run. I was just trying to see how hard I had to work to prove a point to myself that I could help 50 people in a month. That was my goal. That's the only reason why I hit that, by the way. I decided I was going to help 50 people in a month. I had never did it, never came close. The highest I'd have ever hit was like SC34. Had no idea how I was going to make this happen. And I decided I was going to try to see if I could do it. And I was going to work harder than I ever had on anything in my life. And that's what I did. I became obsessed, which I'm in the test group, and that's the name of it, 80-day obsession. So like, that's my new word. But I became obsessed with this business. You have to sacrifice things that you love. You have to sacrifice a little bit of TV. You have to sacrifice time with your friends. You have to sacrifice that amazing knitting class that you like to go to, or that aromatherapy class, that meditation class that you love to do. You have to sacrifice certain things in your life right now to get a life that you'll love, so that you have all day and every day to do those things you love. Look at some taboos. Like, you need to get out. You need to live a little. You need to be obsessed with your success, not just so you can get the monetary things, but so you can legitimately give yourself a life that you are meant to live, and give your family the life that you would love to live. And you can't do that by showing up sometimes. You can't do that by doing the vital behaviors, inviting 3, adding 3, following up with 3, and then complaining about not hitting 16. If you want to have massive results in this business, and that's the secret that a lot of people don't like to hear, you have to work harder than you've been working. The more you work your business, the more consistently you work your business, the bigger your results. And it's really that simple. And I wish that I could just walk you through my day so you can see that I just do everything that I was told to do more than I would imagine most people are doing. I just do it more. I do it longer, harder, and I give more into my business. Like, my business has become my life, because I realized that my success depends, like, my life depends on the success of my business, but I wasn't treating it like that. I was treating it like a little side hobby, like a little something that I can do on the side, something that I should do every now and then. And if you have big goals and you have big dreams and aspirations for your family, and your family's family, generations to come, you can leave a legacy instead of a burden, then that's what you need to envision. And a lot of people have a big why, but you don't work like that. Why means a lot to you. I would say any coach that I've ever talked to with children would tell me their why is their child. And it's like, if your why is your children or your child, how can you not show up? Like, how can you not work your business consistently? Like, that breaks my heart, because if I can do this just because I want to prove it to me, how can you not do this? And you have a why as big as, like, the child that you brought into this life. So you have to not just say what your why is, but feel that when you don't show up. Feel that when you decide it's too hard. Like, think about that thing that you're doing it for, and show up times 100. And that's like the big old secret that a lot of people don't like to hear. Success isn't comfortable. You know, hitting Success Club 106 wasn't comfortable. It wasn't easy. Doing it now and repeat is not something that has been easy, and that just comes to me because I'm just Denita. I work according to my why. My father got laid off a few months after my husband. My mom the school she was a principal. The school got shut down, and she couldn't find a job, and my dad didn't have a job. And my why became so big. I never want my parents, don't cry, don't do this, to worry about anything ever, because they work so hard, like all their life. And I realized that me treating this business like it was just something that could happen, could work, it was a disservice to the people I was doing it for. So I started to work like everything depended on it, because in a lot of ways, a lot of things did. So I took massive action after I developed myself mentally. I became the person that could hit Success Club 100. That's the only reason why I hit it. The third thing that I want to talk about is take ownership of your stuff. Take ownership of your business. Do not depend on your upline to be the reason that you are successful. Ruth Schroner is my upline. As much as I love her to death, Ruth is not the reason that I'm successful. Ruth presented me with this opportunity, and that is the only obligation she had that is the only thing she needed to do for me. That is the only thing that is required of the person who introduced you to this business. The only thing they have to do is tell you, this is the opportunity, take it. Everything else is completely and utterly up to you. You have to take ownership of your life. You have to take ownership of your business, and you have to decide that I'm going to make this work. I'm going to go find the answer. I'm going to find what worked for me. I am going to work at it and keep going until I get to where I need to be in this business. So when I got back, I decided to take ownership of my stuff. I started doing my own sneak peeks. I started to buckle down on the basics, and I started to teach my coaches, stick to the basics. I stopped trying to recreate the wheel and be the reason that they were successful, because that's taking away the pride in your success. If you feel like the person who introduced you to this business is the reason you're successful, and without them, you cannot make it. So I decided to take ownership of my business and to realize that when I joined, although I had the amazing support of my upline, who is always there and who's always been there to encourage her, although I had her, I did not need her to be successful. I did not need her to be successful. You do not need your upline to be successful. You do not need Jessica to be successful. You do not need this training to be successful. You have everything you need to be successful. It was in Coach Basics when you first started. And we don't value the basics of this business enough. The humanness of building relationships, telling your truth, and shouting it to the rooftop that this is amazing, and I'm going to help everyone and anyone that I can. And there's no such thing as I cannot find people. There's 7 billion people on this planet. There's literally thousands of women right now who need you, who wish someone would just talk to them about this. When Ruth found me and she told me about this opportunity, it had nothing to do with what she said. I didn't connect with Ruth on no level. She didn't look like me. I didn't have a lifestyle like her. My background didn't match hers. It was nothing about Ruth told me that made me want to do this business. She was nice. Like, she was a nice woman. That was a plus. But it was nothing about what she said. So stop thinking it's something you're saying. It wasn't about what she said. It was my time at that time. So stop trying to convince people that this business is amazing. Plant the seeds, tell your truth, and go find the person who needs you right now. Because I needed Ruth when she came to me. I desperately needed her. So I won't spend 2 days on someone who doesn't see the beauty in this business when I could spend 2 minutes on someone who desperately needs this because their life is dependent on it, much like my life was dependent on it. So take ownership of that and know that there are thousands and thousands of people who need you right now and who would tell you yes in a heartbeat if you're being true to yourself and if you're doing the things that you need to be. Because guess what? Whenever she did talk to me, you better believe I went check out her page. So when people go to your page and you're doing your vitals on a massive level, and people go see your timeline or your IG feed, what is it telling them? What would you want to join you? Are you showing up? Are you giving people value? Are you showing people what this business has done for your life? Are you giving them a little bit of something back so that they can see the hope and they can see the joy in what it is that you're doing? Or are you reflecting your self-limiting beliefs onto your audience and wondering why they don't want to join you? A lot of what you do and what you put out there, the people around you pick up on that energy. People don't tell me yes because I'm just this great salesperson. People tell me yes because this is real, this is raw, and my soul is tied into what I'm doing. So you're going to feel what I'm telling you. It may not be for you, but you're going to feel this. You're going to leave. I've motivated so many people to be like, you know what? I don't think this is something I want to do because either I don't love fitness, I don't work out, I'm not going to be committed, or I don't like helping people. But you have just fueled my passion to like do X, Y, and Z. And that is the kind of stuff you need to transfer to people. And that starts with changing your mindset about what this business is and what it's going to do for you and the beliefs that you have in yourself. Because people, a sale, if you want to call it that, is a transfer of excitement about something. What are you transferring to people when you talk to them? If you're scared, so are they. If you're not sure, neither will they be. If you get coaches and you're not consistent, guess who's not going to be consistent? Your coaches. If you're not hitting Success Club, guess who's not about to hit Success Club? Your coaches. Like, why would I hit Success Club? You ain't doing it. Like, I'm following you. So whatever you do, I do. So if you start, and that's same for your followers. Start looking at yourself as an influencer. You're an influencer online. Your job is to influence people to see the value in what you have to offer. Take that seriously. Give them something that they can hold on to so that when it is their season, because you're going to get 1,000 no's before you get 10 yeses, by the way. You're going to get 1,000 no's. A no doesn't mean no to you. It means no to what you're offering me. But if you plant that seed and the seasons pass and it rains and it sleets and it hails and it rains again, that seed is going to eventually. And guess who they're going to come to? That person lit soul on fire back when they needed it, but they weren't mentally ready to join you. Or they financially really couldn't, and they just weren't about to tell you they was broke, so they just ignored you instead. Like, it's easier. I'm not going to tell you my business. Guess who's going to come back to you? That messaged me and asked me, they messaged me and asked me for like the coach basis and stuff because they don't have an upline. Their upline coach, and they don't know who their upline is. Like the resources that you have, you're sitting on a mountain of success. You're like sitting on it. You're just toying around, playing on it, just jumping up and down. Everything you need to be successful, you have. Open Pandora's box and kill it. Open it up and kill it because you already have it. So you don't need to go looking for it because you already have it. Just take ownership and know that it's you. You are the gap between where you are and where you're trying to be. You are, and you can get there by taking massive action consistently on a day-to-day basis. I said fear isn't real, and fear itself isn't real. The fear of people telling you no, the fear of, I hope I'm not coming out, the fear of people telling you no, the fear of you not building a successful business, the fear of what if I can't be successful, that fear is you making real life decisions off an imaginary scenario. So that's almost insanity. It's insane, but we all do it. The feeling of fear, what you feel in your heart when you say, I don't know if I can invite this girl, even though I think she's going to be an amazing coach. That actual fear, what you're feeling, that is real. That's a real emotion. But recognize that you are afraid, recognize the fears there, and do it anyway. Darren whatever his name is, Darren Hardy, whatever that boy name is, that man, whatever his name is, he said the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is unsuccessful people complain about the hard stuff. Successful people do it anyway. And it's always the little things that you do every day. There's no big thing that I do every day that just made my business explode. I just did the little stuff every single day times 100 with rain, sleet. It doesn't matter what happens in my life because things are constantly happening. I hope y'all don't think I'm just at this computer all day and life just does not get to me and I have no problems, because I can assure you, although I would love that, that is not my reality. I have a lot of stuff going on that I don't ever talk about.
You're back.
Okay. I'm gonna have to ditch Xfinity. They've been cutting up. Oh my God. What's the last thing y'all heard? I'm gonna have to wrap it up and see what's wrong with it. Call them and fuss at them. Do you want to build a snowman? What's the last thing y'all heard, Jess?
The last thing was about what was it? The definition of insanity.
Okay.
Oh, that's what Lauren just said. Okay, then yeah, that's right.
Okay, so fear itself is, just basing real life decisions on something that may happen that hasn't happened. And a lot of what we think is going to happen is not actually going to happen. So just know that the fear itself isn't real, but the feeling that you have, the feeling of fear, that is very much real. Like that deep pit in your stomach that you get, that is very much real. The difference between people who are successful and people who want to be successful is they experience that fear, but they do it anyway. Like you will experience the fear, but you do it anyway. You push past it because you know that fear, that made up situation is not bigger than the life that you want. It's not bigger than the goals that you have for yourself. Darren said, I don't know if you heard this, but Darren said at Summit that the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is unsuccessful people complain about the hard stuff and successful people do the hard stuff. And they do the hard stuff consistently. And they do the hard stuff without fail because their life is bigger than whatever obstacle is standing in front of them. And just because you get knocked back 5 times doesn't mean you don't get up 10 times. And you don't fight for your life because it's your life and no one else can make it happen and no one else can get the life that you want besides you. So recognize the fear, recognize what's holding you back, and do it anyway. A lot of people will ask me, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay consistent? I have an issue with staying motivated, or I have trouble being consistent. You don't have trouble being consistent. It's not that you're not motivated. Motivation, first of all, doesn't exist. Motivation may get you off the couch to press play, but motivation is not going to keep you fit 5 to 6 years down the line looking like Jessica after she did P90, like Insanity years ago. Like motivation didn't get her here a few years later, still looking badass. Like motivation didn't do that. Motivation is not going to get you to Emerald and then get you to 15 star. That's not motivation. The decision to be consistent despite whatever comes up is how you'll get from point A to point B. So people ask me a lot of times, how do you stay consistent? I decided to be consistent. I decided nothing was bigger than my goals. I decided to work when all I wanted to do was bawl in the corner and cry. I decided, then I committed, then I succeeded. Isn't that like our slogan? Decide, commit, succeed. It's literally as simple as deciding I'm going to do this regardless and doing it. So I can't stay consistent. You're making a decision every day to not do it. And you can just as easily make a decision to do it. Is it easier to not do it? Of course it is. But that's why 95% of this population works for 5%, because it's easier to decide to not do it. So just decide. The only reason why I'm consistent is because I decide every day to work hard. It's a decision. I can decide to not work hard. I just decide to work hard. Like, see how simple that is? And when people ask me that, that's always my answer. How do you stay consistent? Because I decided to be consistent. I make a decision every day. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to work today. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter what happens. And a lot of us, when life happens, like tragedy, I'm talking real traumatic things happen to us, we decide that life has gotten hard and we back off the pedal, like we take our foot off the gas. And this was asked at Success Club Trip, and I'm going to ask it to you guys. Who benefits from you stopping or slowing down because a family member is sick? Your mom is in the hospital. Your kid is having issues at school, or you're having problems with your spouse, or communication issues with your spouse, or just life seems to be falling apart. You get fired, or you get demoted on your job. Who benefits if you quit? Nobody. So why would you stop when life is getting hard? It's only going to get harder if you have nothing to fight for. So always remember that. And the last thing, so I don't get cut off again, is learn less and do more. I said this on the Beachbody Champions. And I know this is kind of like backwards because I'm like teaching y'all stuff, but learn less and do more. Stop looking for that secret sauce. Stop looking for the answer and get to work. Grind. This is like a very overly used phrase, but grind every day. I just made a post on my Facebook. How do you know if you're grinding? Every day you go to bed with 20 things undone. Every day you go to bed not knowing how you're going to get through the next day. Every day your to-do list, your task list is so big, you don't know how you're going to get through it. Every single day you're calculating your next move. If you have nothing to do right now, then you find something to do. Grind like your life depends on it. Every day. Like, everybody wants to just be like a beast. Everybody wants to have these massive results, but nobody want to do what beasts do. Grind, work hard all the time, consistently. And as you keep beating down the brick wall that is holding you back from success, that wall is going to give way, but you can't let off the gas, and you have to stop looking for the answer. Stop looking at seminars and webinars outside of yourself, unless it's something you need to develop. Conferences, mind development, like personal development conferences, go to them. Like, go to them, because it all starts up here. Like, yeah, those, listen to. Those, invest in. Those courses, take them. Like, learn about that stuff, because that's big. But all of this Beachbody stuff that we keep looking for, that outside source that's just going to be that magic light bulb, it is already within you. The knowledge you need to be successful, you already have. It's found in the Coach Basics. You can go back to your first month and review that information, and then just be like, mind psych yourself out like, I got the secret sauce, now I'm about to kill it. So learn less and just do more. Vitals times 100, belief in yourself, work hard consistently, persistently, and grind like your life depends on it, because it kind of does. And that's all I got, Jessica, before my internet goes out again.
Oh, that's all. That's all you got. I told you guys. I told you this was going to be a good call. Oh my gosh, Denita, like, I just can't even explain all that's going on inside of me. That was so good. I just can't. Like, there was one part when you said, I wish this business cost $5,000.
I wish. I really do.
So people would stop treating it like it cost $160. I was like, oh. So amazing, you guys. I hope now you maybe understand why she's getting 100 Success Club points a month. I also hope that you take what she said and apply it to your life. This is what this business is all about. Everything she said, every one of you guys can do this. It's a decision. And when you actually embrace that and stop looking for the reason why you can't and embrace the reason why you can, everything will change. And that's exactly what happened with Denita. Amazing stuff, girl. I am so excited for you, for your grind and your hustle. And I know you got to go because you've got things to do, because that's who you are. So thank you, Denita. Thank you, everybody. Go help somebody, because this is like 1 trillion reasons why, and a whole lot of goosebumps for that. So thank you, Denita. You guys, let's go make her proud and have success stories from this call. All right. Yeah. See you guys. Thank you, Denita.